On Sunday, April 26, 2026, 28-year-old Mena went to the Frun Main Motor Park in Delta State to pick up a waybill package. Mena was not picking up the package for himself. He was running an errand for a friend, a simple favor that should have taken just a few minutes. He had no idea that this act of kindness would cost him his life in the most brutal way imaginable. When Mena arrived at the motor park, he went to collect the package. The park attendant who handed it over to him immediately noticed something unusual. The package was small in appearance, but it was very heavy, much heavier than its size suggested. This struck the attendant as suspicious. He became curious and asked Mena what was inside the package. Mena told him honestly that he had no idea what was in the package. He explained that someone had simply sent him to help pick it up. He was just doing a favor for a friend. Mena could not open the package because it did not belong to him, and it would make no sense to open another person's sealed package without permission. However, the park attendants were not satisfied with this explanation. Their suspicion grew stronger. They insisted that the package must be opened. When Mena continued to explain, they forcefully opened it themselves, and what they found inside shocked everyone present. Wrapped carefully inside the package was a pistol and 4 rounds of ammunition. The discovery drew attention through the motor park. The attendants immediately apprehended Mena. They tied both his hands and legs to prevent him from escaping, restraining him on the ground. Mena began pleading with the park workers. He told them again and again that he was not the owner of the package. He insisted that he had been sent by someone else. He even made a crucial offer. He was willing to take them to the man who sent him to get the package on his behalf. The person who sent him on this errand lived in Sapele, and Mena was ready to lead them there. He wanted to cooperate. He wanted to help them catch the real criminal. The park workers called the police. Operatives attached to the Front Area Command received the report and were immediately deployed to the scene to take the suspect into custody. When the police team arrived at the motor park, they went through the package and saw the gun and ammunition for themselves. The patrol team leader, identified as Assistant Superintendent of Police Usman Nuhu, also popularly known as Ugbegbe, examined the evidence. Then, without warning, he cocked his rifle and prepared to fire. Mena, still tied and restrained on the ground, continued pleading and begging. He tried desperately to convince the police officers to take him to Sapele. He repeated that he was willing to lead them to the man who sent him to the park to pick up the package. He wanted to help them solve the case. He wanted to show them who the real criminal was. But all his pleas fell on deaf ears. ASP Usman Nuhu, right there in front of all the witnesses at the motor park, shot Mena in the shoulder. Mena was wounded and in pain, but he was still alive. ASP Usman then ordered his colleagues to carry Mena into the vehicle they had come in. The officers obeyed. They lifted the wounded young man and placed him in their patrol car. Mena was driven by the team to a Ekpan police station. During the entire journey, he received no form of first aid, and the reason will later be made clear by their actions. When they arrived at the police station, the proper procedure would have been to report the situation to the area commander, ACP Aliyu Shaba, who had reportedly instructed them to pick up the suspect in the first place. But ASP Usman Nuhu did not follow the procedure. Instead of reporting to his superior, instead of allowing any investigation or due process, ASP Usman Nuhu allegedly did something unthinkable. He allegedly fired 3 more shots at Mena, who was still alive. Despite the first gunshot wound, the 3 additional bullets ended the young man's life right there at the police station. Mena, also known by his stage name Ojimillion, was a young upcoming music artist. He had been executed without trial, without investigation, and certainly without any chance to prove his innocence or even lead the police to the real culprit. The sounds of the gunshots from ASP Nuhu at the police station alerted ACP Aliyu Shaba. When the area commander heard the shots, he rushed out to see what was happening. Upon seeing the situation and understanding what had occurred, he immediately took action. He ordered that ASP Nuhu be disarmed, handcuffed, and detained on the spot. Around 10 a.m. on Monday, ACP Aliyu Shaba personally took responsibility for handling the case properly. He transported ASP Nuhu and his team members to Asaba, the state capital, where they were handed over to the Delta State Commissioner of Police. From there, ASP Nuhu and his team were moved to the Zone 5 Police Command in Benin. They were expected to be transferred to the force headquarters in Abuja for disciplinary actions. The Delta State Police Command released an official statement about the incident. The Commissioner of Police also condemned the extrajudicial killing in strong terms. The statement acknowledged that ASP Nuhu Usman had acted in clear violation of Force Order 237 and the standard operating procedure of the Nigeria Police Force. Along with the press release, the police posted a photo showing a police officer in handcuffs. However, The face of the officer in the photo was censored out, blurred so that he could not be identified. This decision sparked immediate and intense reactions from the general public. People questioned why the police had censored the officer's face. The problem was clear. By hiding his identity in the official photo, no one could verify whether the officer being taken to the force headquarters for disciplinary action was actually Usman Nuhu. This was especially troubling because Nuhu's face was clearly visible in the viral video that had been circulating online, a video showing him preparing the gun he later fired at Mena. The public demanded transparency. If the police were serious about accountability, why hide the face of the accused officer? What were they trying to cover up? ASP Bright Edafe, the Delta State Police Public Relations Officer, later appeared on Channels Television to address the controversy and also clarify why they had hidden the identity of the officer in the photo.
You covered his face, so people are wondering, are you sure this is the person you took to Abuja? There's a lot of trust to be built, so why cover his face when his face is already out there?
All right. Sir is first a Nigerian. It's part of the criteria to be a police officer. He must be a Nigerian. And the Nigerian Constitution stated it clearly that media parade is not the way forward. If you observe, even when we are parading kidnappers, armed robbers, defilement suspects, rape suspects, we blur their faces, we cover their faces, or we take them from behind. So by this man being a police officer who is now a suspect, that does not take away that right of a Nigerian from him. That was why we had to do that. Let it not look like, oh, why be saying I reach police store now, you decide to open it. Because it is the same rule that governs every Nigerian.
During the live interview, ASP Bright made a startling admission about the case. He stated that in his years of being a police officer, he had never seen such an unexplainable situation as the extrajudicial killing of Mena by Usman Nuhu. The command, he said, was still struggling to understand what had led to the officer's action. Concerned citizens made their own speculations in a bid to try and explain why Nuhu would have decided to kill Mena without any investigation or any effort to use the information Mena was willing to provide. Some alleged a cover-up was in progress. Some suggested that Nuhu might have been involved in something shady himself and that he probably killed Mena to cover his tracks. Others raised serious concerns about the other officers who came with Nuhu potentially going scot-free. Multiple reports indicated that more than 5 police officers were involved in the incident, so why was only one person being paraded as the culprit? The other officers had been present when Nuhu shot Mena at the motor park. They had carried Mena into the vehicle, they had driven him to the police station, and they had also been there when Nuhu fired the final 3 shots that ended his life. These officers were complicit and must also be made to face disciplinary action, not just Nuhu alone. This kind of police brutality was exactly what had triggered the EndSARS protests in Nigeria years earlier. Young Nigerians had taken to the streets, demanding an end to police violence, extrajudicial killings, and the abuse of power by law enforcement. They had demanded accountability, reform, and justice. Yet, here, years after those protests, issues of police brutality still persisted. Under Nigerian law, police officers who commit extrajudicial killings face serious consequences, including criminal prosecution for murder, dismissal from service, and potential imprisonment. Mena's family deserves answers. They deserve to know why their son, brother, and loved one was killed. They deserve to see every person responsible for his death being held accountable. Mena had offered to cooperate with the police. He was willing to lead them to the real criminal, but yet he was executed without trial. All that can be done now is watch and see if the Nigeria police force will truly uphold its commitment to accountability and justice, or if this will be another case where promises fade and perpetrators go unpunished. As more updates emerge in this case, you will be promptly notified. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel or page so that you don't miss out on any updates on this case.